Back in the golden age of Hollywood, the studio system presented a picture-perfect fantasy to the world. It was a world of pristine gowns, tailored suits, and carefully manufactured romance. But behind the gilded gates and the carefully posed publicity photos, a different story was unfolding, one of utter chaos, raw passion, and love that crossed every line society had drawn. This wasn't just about a few harmless flings. These were full-blown, scandalous affairs that threatened to tear down carefully constructed careers. For 10 of the most iconic actresses of the era, they threw caution to the wind, risking everything they had built for relationships that were deemed immoral, illegal, or simply too hot for the silver screen. Their stories are a masterclass in playing with fire, proving that behind every glamorous facade, there was often a heart burning with forbidden desire. We're kicking this off with a story so twisted it sounds like a noir plot Hollywood itself would have deemed too dark. This is Gloria Graham, the smoky-voiced femme fatale from classics like The Big Heat and In a Lonely Place. On screen, she was the ultimate seductress. Off-screen, her life became a chilling mirror of her film roles. Gloria's most notorious entanglement wasn't with a co-star or a director. It was with her own stepson, Anthony Tony Ray. The scandal unfolded in 1951 when her husband, director Nicholas Ray, allegedly walked in on the two of them at their Malibu home. Tony was only 13 years old. The incident ended her marriage to Nicholas in 1952 and sent shockwaves through the gossip circles. While Gloria publicly denied the affair, Tony's later memoir painted a different picture, detailing an encounter when he was just 12 or 13. The two reconnected in 1958 when Tony was 21, beginning a secret affair that led to a secret marriage in Tijuana in 1960. She was 37, he was 23. They had 2 sons. But the secrecy was short-lived. When the tabloids got wind, Gloria was branded an outcast. Her film roles dried up, and she was reduced to theater and B-movies, paying the ultimate price for a relationship that crossed an unforgivable line. While Gloria was dealing with family taboos, Kim Novak was navigating a different kind of forbidden fire. The cool, mysterious blonde bombshell of Vertigo found herself in a romance that challenged the very fabric of segregated America. In 1957, at the height of her fame, she met Sammy Davis Jr., the supremely talented member of the Rat Pack. Sparks flew instantly, but in an era where interracial relationships were illegal in nearly half the states, their love was a dangerous powder keg. Harry Cohn, the head of Columbia Pictures and the man who controlled Novak's career, was reportedly furious. The story goes that Cohn used his mob connections to deliver a chilling ultimatum to Sammy: marry a black woman within 48 hours, or risk losing an eye, or worse. Terrified, Sammy went through with a sham marriage to dancer Lorraine White to save his life, leaving Kim heartbroken. Kim later downplayed the idea of marriage, saying she just loved their time together, but the affair had lasting repercussions. The backlash haunted her, and years later, their story is set to be told in a biopic aptly titled Scandalous. For Kim, the risk was more than just a broken heart, it was a stark encounter with the violent racism of the era. Dorothy Dandridge was no stranger to dangerous love. As Hollywood's first black Best Actress Oscar nominee for Carmen Jones, she was a trailblazer who faced segregation head-on. Her forbidden romances were almost exclusively interracial, a bold and risky move in a deeply racist society. During the filming of Carmen Jones, she had a secret affair with the film's married white director, Otto Preminger. Later, she was linked to other white stars like Peter Lawford, drawing venomous criticism from both sides of the color line. Some within the black community labeled her a race traitor. Her personal life was a tragic parallel. She suffered an abusive marriage to Harold Nicholas and her daughter was born with severe brain damage. In films like Island in the Sun, where her implied romance with a white co-star sparked protests, she was pushing boundaries that few dared to touch. Her courage cost her dearly. When she died in 1965 at the age of 42, she was broke. Dorothy's story is a testament to a woman who risked her career and her safety to love on her own terms, paving a painful but essential path for those who would follow. Ingrid Bergman was the picture of innocence, the fresh-faced star of Casablanca who embodied virtue for a post-war America. That image was shattered in 1949 when she embarked on an affair with the Italian director Roberto Rossellini. It wasn't just an affair, it was adultery, conducted while she was still married to her husband, with a pregnancy to boot. When she gave birth to Rossellini's child before her divorce was finalized, the scandal was biblical. The United States Senate denounced her. Fans sent hate mail. Hollywood essentially blacklisted her, exiling her from American screens for years. She had risked her reputation as America's sweetheart for passion and artistic collaboration. It took her nearly 7 years to stage a triumphant comeback, winning another Oscar for Anastasia in 1956. Ingrid's gamble showed that even the most pristine image could be rebuilt, but only after paying an immense price for a love that defied social convention. While some divas risked their careers for men, Greta Garbo risked hers for a different kind of love. The enigmatic star of Grand Hotel was a master of mystery, and her forbidden affairs were mostly with women, a secret that could have been career suicide in the homophobic climate of old Hollywood. Garbo never married, but rumors swirled for decades about her relationships with Mercedes da Costa and Louise Brooks. She dressed androgynously, both on and off screen, and retired from the screen at just 36, in part to escape the relentless scrutiny. Her girl-to-girl loves were whispered about in sewing circles, but never openly discussed. She sacrificed the prime of her career to protect her privacy, a decision that made her a queer icon for generations to come. Marlene Dietrich, on the other hand, was far from subtle. The German-born star of the Blue Angel was boldly bisexual and lived her life with a defiant authenticity that was unheard of at the time. She openly cross-dressed, kissed women on screen in Morocco, and had long-term affairs with women like Mercedes da Costa and Claudette Colbert. Her marriage to Rudolf Sieber was an open arrangement, they had lovers on both sides. In an era where queerness could end a career, Marlene entertained troops in pantsuits and hosted wild parties. Her daughter confirmed she flaunted her indiscretions to her husband. She once famously stated, "We make love with anyone we find attractive." Marlene didn't just risk her image for love, she risked it for her identity, becoming an unapologetic icon for sexual freedom. Tallulah Bankhead was another force of nature who refused to be caged. The raspy-voiced diva of Lifeboat was unapologetically bisexual at a time when such frankness was unheard of. Her legendary escapades included affairs with Billie Holiday and Hattie McDaniel. She openly boasted about hundreds of lovers, hosted orgies, and quipped about her appetites for women and cocaine with equal candor. Her career suffered from the constant rumors, but she always bounced back. Tallulah described herself as ambisextrous, freely pursuing both genders. Her home was a hub for wild parties, and her humor was legendary, once telling Joan Crawford she had slept with her husband and that she, Crawford, was next. She lived loud, liberated, and as a proto-feminist, she was a constant inspiration amidst the repression. No list of scandalous Hollywood love is complete without Elizabeth Taylor. The violet-eyed queen of Cleopatra didn't just have an affair, she created a global spectacle. Her on-set romance with Richard Burton in 1962 was the scandal of the decade. Both were married to other people. The Vatican condemned their affair, calling it erotic vagrancy. Liz stole Burton from his wife, but not before she had already stolen Eddie Fisher from Debbie Reynolds, a betrayal that made her a permanent villain in the eyes of many. She was branded a homewrecker. Her father even criticized her for leaving Fisher. But Liz, who had already endured multiple marriages, seemed to be on a quest for true, passionate love, and she found it in the volatile, obsessive, and destructive relationship with Burton. They married twice, divorced twice, and their love consumed them, surrounded by jets and jewels and public fights, but she risked everything for the passion of the moment. Ava Gardner's affair with Frank Sinatra was the stuff of legend. The barefoot Contessa was a sultry, fiery beauty who fell for the voice and the volatility of Frank Sinatra. Their affair in 1949 led to his divorce from his first wife, Nancy. They married in 1951, and their union was a tornado of booze-fueled fights, jealousy, and mutual infidelity. They divorced in 1957, but Frank never really got over her. He called her the love of his life, and their story inspired songs like Strangers in the Night. Ava risked her image and public perception for a man who was as destructive as he was talented. Their love was toxic but enduring. Even after their divorce, they remained close. She lived unapologetically, with affairs that included bullfighters, but Frank Sinatra was the one that defined her, a passion so intense it became a Hollywood archetype. And finally, we have Vivien Leigh, the immortal Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind. Her affair with the great Laurence Olivier was a virus of passion that consumed them both. They met in 1936 while both were married to other people. Their secret affair was a ticking time bomb, as they feared the scandal would destroy their careers. They finally divorced their respective spouses and married in 1940, becoming the ultimate power couple of the British stage and screen. But their epic love story had a tragic flaw: Vivien's bipolar disorder. The passionate, madly in love couple was slowly torn apart by her mental illness, which led to breakdowns and affairs on both sides. She risked her reputation to be with Larry, and he risked his to be with her. They built a legendary partnership, only to see it erode under the weight of their own demons. Their story was truly, madly, deeply doomed, but it remains a testament to a love so powerful it was willing to defy the entire world.